Hey, it's 4 a.m., I'm high, I never make videos, and this is probably the most specific thing I've ever been hyper-focused on. I feel this is a mystery that is still unsolved, and that there's very few info about it on the internet. So let's get started about it. On May 1st, 2011, YouTube user Fred5107 made an astute observation while playing Ratchet and Clank Commando Greatest Hits edition and posted their discovery on a YouTube video titled Ratchet's Voice is Different. In the comments, there's a reply by Ratchet's voice actor James Arnold Taylor. In the first Ratchet and Clank game, Ratchet was voiced by my friend actor Mikey Kelly. I replaced Mikey for all the games since. It was an error on the part of the game makers. They used Mikey's voice for the grunts and groans accidentally on this game. You've got a good ear to recognize the difference. That's his legit YouTube account, by the way. James Arnold Taylor is wrong. I mean, no disrespect to him. He's an awesome voice actor and he's been doing an awesome job at being Ratchet. Also, I think it's really cool he took the time to reply to a kid's video without even being asked about it. But there is a misunderstanding. There is truth in what he says. He was not the voice actor for Ratchet in the first game. It was Mikey Kelly. Ratchet's grunts and false voice clips were recorded then and stayed in use until Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction on the PS3. So indeed, from going commando until this game, Ratchet had a different voice in the cutscenes and in-game. Expect that is not the difference Fred5107 noticed. They noticed that the in-game voice was different than the one he's used to in the Greatest Hits edition. And he's right. So, what's up with that? On the 8th of April 2018, YouTube user MTGamer25 makes the same observation in a video and speculates that this voice is from the German version. But checking it in the European version, set to German, we noticed this. YouTube users Nathaniel G has another explanation. This is James Arnold Taylor's voice, that for some reason they didn't keep using in subsequent games. However, I have another potential origin for this voice. It's also used in the Korean versions of Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal and Ratchet Deadlocked. Korea got Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, and Deadlocked dubbed in Korean. Finding names of the voice actors of these dubs might have been tricky to find on the Anglophone internet, but I have a Korean copy of Up Your Arsenal with the manual on hand, and it allowed me to determine that Ratchet's Korean voice actor is named Dong-Kyun. With this information, two questions arise. 1. Why does Korean has its own in-game voice clips, where European languages don't, and the English ones don't even have the right voice actor for them either? And 2. Why would this specific US release use the Korean voice clips? Let's answer the first question. As you can see, the Korean version of Ratchet and Clank uses a different model for Ratchet's head. That's because it's based on the Japanese version of the game, where Ratchet's character has been altered to appeal more to the Japanese audience. His head was altered, but also his voice. While in English and European it's usually sounding like a young masculine voice, it was changed in Japanese to a high-pitched voice.
あれ以来すっかり有名人でいろんなところからたくさんよ
Now, Mikey Kelly and James Arnold Taylor gave Ratchet's voice a similar tone, and it's not that noticeable that the in-game voice clips are from a different voice actor. But for Japanese, the voice tone is so different that they had to replace them, or there would be a really noticeable inconsistency that would make the game feel unpolished. The Korean dub reverted to a young male voice, but since they built upon the Japanese version, they had to change the high-pitched voice clips again, so it wouldn't be consistent once again. Instead of using Mikey Kelly's clips, they made new ones with Dong-Kyun. For the second question, why would the Korean voice clips end up in the US Greatest Hits release? If we look back at the Cutting Room Floor article, and if we refer to SuperSqank version difference guide on speedrun.com, we could deduce that the Greatest Hits release is based upon the Korean version that contains a variety of bug fixes and some Japanese changes reverted, like the camera speed. They then reverted the model change and put back the English cutscenes dub, but forgot to change Ratchet's in-game voice clips. That would explain everything, right? Except... Going Commando's Korean version uses Mikey Kelly's voice clip, so my theory isn't confirmed. So, we're having new information here. The first time this voice clip was used was in the Greatest Hits release of Going Commando. This edition released before the Korean release of Up Your Arsenal, since it released in September 2004 according to IGN. And Up Your Arsenal released in the US for the first time in November 2004. There are now two possibilities. This is James Arnold Taylor's voice, but then it's strange that the only place this voice has been used afterwards are the Korean version of Up Your Arsenal and Deadlocked. Or this is Dong-Kyun's voice, but it's unknown why it's used in the Greatest Hits release of Going Commando as well. There is no decisive proof one way or another. I will try asking two people who worked on the games for clarification that I know are active on the internet. Mike Stout, who was in the dev team for the original trilogy, and James Arnold Taylor himself, and will post an update if they can provide an answer. Although this may not happen, as I would be asking them to give me memories from something they worked on 15 years ago or more. They might not remember the specifics or even not know about them in the first place at all. What do you think? Do you have additional info? If you do, don't hesitate posting them in the comments. Thank you for watching.